So everything you need to know about the CLP. Yay, letters. But yeah. Also, I haven't sat for the CLP yet. Not even once. So we still have all 4 attempts-ish, kind of. Anyway, probably should premise this with what is the CLP, but if you are choosing to click into this video, you probably already know. Regardless, CLP is the Malaysian equivalent of the bar exam. So, if you want to be a lawyer and you did a foreign law degree, then you gotta do the CLP. And I did a foreign law degree, so I gotta do the CLP. Yay! Okay, so CLP Statistics, so fun. Not really. So basically, Wikipedia says it's from the amount of people who pass the CLP is 10 to 30%. So a majority of people fail. So that's the reality of CLP lah. So I just pulled up this article. It's like the first thing, like some FMT article you get talking about the rate, the passing rate. So this article was in 2023 and it states that the number of full passes this year was 34%, which apparently is crazy, and it's like the biggest number since 2020. This is what they say. Goes on to say that the year before, 30% passed. Before that, only 17% passed. Before that, it was 25%. So the range is 10% to 30% now. And assuming it's 20%, we take the median, the middle. I don't know math, statistics. I probably should be talking about statistics. But the 20%, right? That would mean 20% if there are 1,000 people. Oh shit, I can't do maths. Why did I do this? 1 out of 5. It would be 1,000 divided by 5. Then divided by 5 is 200? 200 people pass. Pretty sure that's correct. But anyway, to simplify it for people like me, who choose law because they do not want to do maths, that would mean 1 out of 5 people, if my maths is wrong, correct me, but 1 out of 5 people would pass. So, you hang out with your group of friends and let's say there's 5 of you, statistically, only 1 of you would pass the CLP. Yeah, fun odds. Also, don't rely on my statistics. I just pulled up the first thing I saw. Like, law students, we gotta do our own research, cite our own sources, but yeah, so it's the internet. But I mean, it seems true-ish. Okay, so let's start off with who has to take the CLP. Basically, anyone who did a foreign law graduate degree program. So if you did a Malaysian law degree program, it's cool, it's all good, you don't have to take the CLP. So students, MMU students, they're exempted. They're exempted from the CLP. They do a 4-year course. Now if you do a foreign law degree like me, then you would have to take the CLP exam. So that's who is required to do the CLP. But now who can do the CLP? 2 different questions. Okay, so to do the CLP, you first have to have 5 minimum credits in SPM. Remember SPM? Exam you take when you're 17 or Form 5 or whatever the equivalent is. 5 credits. Then you need 2 principal passes in STPM or its equivalent. Its equivalent being A-levels, or I don't know, I did A-levels, but jump. So A-levels, the Cambridge GCE A-level, or okay, before this foundation wasn't allowed. It wasn't, if you did foundation you can't do the CLP, but that's no longer what it is. So whenever you're watching this, just make sure you check the requirements again. And you need to have a recognized law degree. And what is that? A recognized law degree is a degree that you've done, that is done over the course of 3 years. So you have to do a 3-year long degree with 12 subjects, and you have to cover the 6 core subjects. I'm actually holding 6, but you see 5, but now you see 6. Now the six core subjects you probably would have to, it would probably already be mandatory, but just in case, it is torts. Let me check. Okay, so it's torts, law of torts, contract, constitutional law, criminal law, land law, and equity and trust. I hate equity and trust. It's disgusting. but yeah, must. And you must complete your degree within 6 years. Unless it's the University of London external program, then you must complete it within 7 years. Now, is CLP your only option? No. It's like not the only option to become a lawyer. We've covered that. You can do Malaysian law in a public university. You can go to MMU, and let's say you did a UK degree, you did UOL, UKT, you did some UK law degree. Then you always have the option to do the bar exam, the BPTC, or I think now they call it the BV, I don't know, but basically the UK bar. So if you are a little bit more well-to-do, that's always an option. There's advocacy modules, whereas CLP is a little bit more theory-based. Which brings us to the question of CLP. What exactly is it? Like, what makes the CLP the CLP? I'm just trying to hype myself up to sit for the CLP. But yeah, so the CLP is basically a 9-month course. It's generally done over the course of 9 months. But knowing the statistics, you and I know, people tend to, take more than 9 months. Assuming you don't get through it the first time, but it's okay. This video, we won't go into resits and all that jazz because we're coming from a place of delusion. The presumption is that like we'll all get through the first time, so we don't need to consider receipts now, not at this moment, but we'll make another video probably later. We'll see where the motivation is at that point in time. But anyway, what is the CLP? So the CLP, you have to do 5 papers, and these 5 papers cover 9 subjects. Oh no, the math's not adding up. I know, you would think 5 papers means 5 subjects, but no. So what are the papers? You have civil procedure, criminal procedure, the general paper, I can't do this, evidence, and professional practice. So criminal procedure, 1 paper, 1 subject. Civil procedure, 1 paper, 1 subject. Oh, I should have started like this. Okay, and then evidence, 1 paper, 1 subject. Then we have the general paper, 1 paper, 2 subjects. So the general paper has 2 subjects. Wow, redundant. The general paper has 2 subjects. And the subjects are contract and tort. So you'll be familiar with these 2 subjects. You probably would have done it in your degree. Not probably, if you did a UK degree and you're doing the CLP, you're required to do these 2 subjects. Then we have the 5th paper, which is the professional practice paper. The bulkiest of them all. So we already have 1 subject, 2 subjects, 3 subjects, 4, 5 subjects. We have 4 more subjects. So the 5th paper, professional practice, has 4 subjects. Wow. And these 4 subjects are, I have to think about it. Ethics and advocacy. That's like a compulsory question, so gotta do it. And then the rest you kind of somewhat have an option, but not really, because there's no spotting questions in CLP from what I've heard. Probate, which is like date people and wills and letters of administration, stuff like that. It's okay, we don't need to know this now. We're all at the beginning stage, later on. Bankruptcy, here you have bankruptcy and winding up proceedings, and land law. Land, which a lot of people generally don't like, but apparently it seems like a lot of questions come from land. But then again, right, we can't operate on the mindset of spotting questions, because that's not what we're doing for our exams. We're studying everything. But yeah, okay, so 5 papers, 9 subjects. Let's go. Okay, so let's talk about the timeline of the CLP exam. Generally, you would register for this exam around September. You pay your exam fees and everything around December. And June, July is when you sit for the exams. Again, it varies. Usually the dates are somewhat fixed, but everything I try to take with a pinch of salt. And your exam dates, they'll release it later on, and subject to certain things like a pandemic. The 2019 batch for CLP, I think their exams were postponed for so long, because CLP was one of the exams that must be a physical exam. there's no online CLP exam, and so everything is subject to, you know, whatever conditions we are in at that point in time lah. The other thing about the CLP is that there is a limit to how many times you can sit for the CLP. So you have 4 tries, meaning if you fail the first time, you can take the exam for the second time. If you fail the second time, you can take the exam for the third time. It goes on, but basically you have 4 attempts. If you exhaust, you finish, you're done with all these 4 attempts, you cannot take the CLP, which means you cannot be a lawyer. So yeah, you got this, I got this, we got this. There's no need to be nervous. People pass, and people's gonna be us. We are that 1 in 5. Okay, but on the topic of not being able to progress, to do the CLP, you need to get at least a 2nd lower in your degree. Meaning, if you pass your degree, you still might not be able to do the CLP. So if you pass your degree, but you got a 3rd class, then you might not be able to do the CLP and progress. So, you know, if you're an undergraduate watching this, keep that in mind, study hard, you know, just meet the requirements, just on to the next stage kind of thing. But also like aim for the sky if you can, because you know, who am I to be like the bad? Nah, just aim high. I think another important factor to consider would be the cost of doing the CLP. Is the CLP costly? It can be, it may not be. Ish, it depends. Okay, so we have to remember the CLP is just an exam that is issued, that is like handled by the LPQP lah, the Lembaga Peguaman, blah blah blah. Basically the Malaysian like bar-ish people, so they handle exams, the LPQP, and they will have this exam every year. So the route, I don't know man, but whatever, the way people go about this is you register with an institution. So I think in Malaysia, like it usually is narrowed down to the 2 institutions we know. It's usually one or the other. There are probably other options, I don't even know. I think there should be. But like when it comes down to like a law students like decision, where do I go? There's usually 2 we look at, right? I don't know. So when you register with the institution, right, so what you're paying is tuition fees, meaning you're obviously paying them because they're giving you teachers and teaching you the course and all that jazz. But let's say you're not well to do, or like it's not an expense you want to have, or you're taking CLP later on in life and you're working and all, you can always just register for the exam as a private candidate. So that's an option. Just putting that out there. If you need more like an affordable option, there's always an option. But then again, the CLP is really bulky, and a lot of people, I think, appreciate the structure that an institution can provide you. But you know, if you feel like you have the discipline, or you generally feel like you cannot follow classes and all that, you know you best, so you do what you think is best for you. So I know we said we weren't going to talk about failing, and but that's okay. It's a bit too delusional lah. But like maybe the receipt papers and all, eventually when I learn more about it, we'll talk about it in a separate video. I don't know, we'll see. But for now, what's important, what needs to be known is that to pass the CLP, you need to pass all 5 papers. Very clear, very obvious, right? And what happens if you fail 1 paper, or what happens if you fail more than 1 paper? So haha, that's the thing. If you fail 1 paper, just 1, then you get what is called a conditional pass. So the pass is conditional on you passing that receipt paper. Okay, so failing 1 is still considered a pass, a conditional pass. So if you pass your receipt paper, you pass the CLP. But what happens if you fail more than 1? That's the problem lah. If you fail more than 1, you have to resit the whole receipt. Okay, I have problems with pronunciation, but never mind. But you have to resit the whole exam. So you fail more than 1, 2, 3, you have to resit. You have to sit for all the papers again. And that's bad. So that's where it really gets you, right? Because already you know the statistics are not it. And then failing means you resit everything. So I think what happens So the problem here is that you really need a lot of persistence, stamina, motivation, delusion to get through this. And you can, one can, you can, I can, we both can. Okay, and that's the other thing, right? So remember we went through the whole how many subjects and how many papers? If you were to fail professional practice, that specific paper has 4 subjects, meaning you would have to study for 4 subjects. So I think in my head right now, we can figure out what we want to prioritize. Because if we're going to fail, we're not going to fail a bulky subject. Civil procedure, we don't want to fail that. So we don't want to fail anything. We don't want to fail anything. We're not going to fail anything. We're not confirmed 100%. Okay, so I just realized we went through all this without even once stating what exactly the CLP stands for. But anyway, it's the Certificate in Legal Practice. Yay! Just had to say it. I'm pretty sure I wrote it somewhere because I would have edited in, but just had to say it. So you completed your law degree, you're a graduate, and then you've completed your CLP. The question that probably would come to mind is, so am I a lawyer yet? And no, you're not. You just finished your CLP. You still have to complete your pupillage. So basically, you're not a lawyer after finishing your CLP. You're still like a law grad. Then you just finish your CLP lah. Hopefully passed it. But yeah, so after that you have to do your pupillage, your chambering. So for 9 months, you'll be attached to a master. And after that 9 months is completed, then you'll be called to the bar. And then you'll be a lawyer. Okay, so I think that's all I have to say about the CLP for now. In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have immediately been like, yo, let's film a video right after work. Because I'm so tired. Like, I'm so tired. Like, I don't have the energy I did when I was young. I'm not old, but you know. But anyway, I think it's pretty comprehensive. You know, comprehensive enough for anyone who's gone through the somewhat standard route. Like A-levels and UK degree, but anything that varies a bit, then maybe you need to do a little bit more research, or maybe I'll probably research as well, because it seems like fun to know things, nice to know stuff. But yeah, also if there's anything, like if I said anything wrong, correct me, because again, I haven't sat for the CLP yet, so we're in this together. And if there's anything like we need to know, we need to like look up, then let me know. Or like let me know what it is, because we're in this together. I assume if you're watching this and I'm gonna do the CLP, then we're gang. You help me, I help you. I hope this was helpful-ish. I hope it's somewhat, you know, makes your life a little bit easier, or you learn something new, or you know, you just felt like, oh my god, someone else is gonna do the CLP like me. I'm not alone. Then, you know, great, amazing. So it's probably gonna be more videos, I think. I don't know, every time I say that, like there's never any more. You know, it's been a year, 2 years, I don't know. So, but there probably will be more, because I hope, you know, I have study vlogs, so I wanna study, and like I've told my friends that I want to study groups. My friends are not sitting for the CLP, they're sitting for they're sitting for I don't know, other things. But yeah, so see you in court. Maybe not, we'll see.